Welcome back to my lovely IHP community and the 5D Collective. And to anyone who's new, we are a bunch of people who take being securely attached seriously. So the minute you are a person who suffers life, you want to first get secure attachment. Then you're ready for mindfulness, mindset seriously. And that's the gist of it. You can tune into our previous episode. It goes a lot more deeply into it. But here we're just going to chit chat about 5D Mystic, Mindful Life, right here, mentor, podcast host, content creator, and how and why the mind stays clear, heart loving, body safe, and connection, ventral energy. So using some of the subjective experiences. And then we're also going to hone in on the men, women, they front relationships, because I have a couple of things on our themes going on. As you all know, there's all these beautiful counterparts coming around. Yeah. So the healthy self-worth ones is who we get to talk about, which basically means that you are your own masculine and feminine. That's because you're your own mind, brain, and body all together in harmony right here. Self-awareness, accountability, regulation, again, in your social engagement system, straightforward as it gets, which means you know kindness and firm kindness and equanimity and non-reactivity. So whether you're a man, woman, or they, don't matter. You know how to bring what is the A game, authenticity, and you don't have a question of energy, because that's the whole point of why mindfully living and loving people, well, now that's badass. And they are actively pure consciousness thanks to integration, bilateral, vertical, overall. They don't have any of the, it's self-loathing, nope. But it's the self-loathing and shame that becomes a central issue in chronic trauma, not the event, but the relationship people have with their inner selves. Bessel van der Kolk, MD. So when you have people continuing to fuck, do drugs, drink, and on a merry-go-round they go with inner and outer critic, you see them grow up and then become fancy men in suit who tell you on screen why a man won't text you back. And you wonder why they didn't head on over to therapy. Because feeling contempt or disgust towards me after fucking me, and then shame and I don't know where it goes, well, that requires for sure, I mean, you should have been in a door of somebody, but maybe you ended up at the bad therapist's office, so you didn't get healed. That's my only conclusion for this man. The woman, on the other hand, tells us not to think wedding bells, and no woman will have ever fucking thought of wedding bells with men telling us what objects we are, right, women? So those stereotypes are pretty much bullshit for a physically, mentally, emotionally intelligent woman, which is a securely attached human being. And it doesn't get any unclearer than this. Men, I don't know. I don't speak for men. I've been told not to. Therefore, I leave it alone. Because to me, if I had been a man, I'd be completely insulted by every little piece of content that I've ever found out there. That's infuriating to a person who believes in humanity. But then again, I'm polyamory, so I've been told that I overestimate the usage of your brain. I don't know. Do you think you're stupid? I wonder. But then again, people do interrupt me. Excuse me. You're confusing science and spirituality because they have not bilateral, vertical, and overall integration. So when science and spirituality touch, and that's a non-bilaterally integrated brain who thinks that your brain can fall out of your asshole, versus learning how to become discerning, which means no charge. And I am discerning. I just don't like to point it out all the time, and I don't like to use big fancy words, but I know where quantitative data comes from. I know qualitative data. I know what analysis and research is, which is why I only take seriously. No, I take everyone seriously, but I know where the good information is. And then I take golden nuggets and I tease a bunch more of shit. And I'm pseudoscience woo-woo lady for a reason. So whenever we are working with trauma, Pat Ogden again, yes, we have to remember that we are never working with the actual event. We're working with patterns of response. Found it hard to believe that my first 3 years of life mean yes. So if anybody does not believe that their first 3 years of life matter and the womb, you don't want to be here, because you're all implicit memory. Sensations, images, affects, meanings, they already and consistently come up. But Maria knows her behaviors, which is why I am a scaredy cat. I'm okay with it. And so when you have self-love and compassion, anybody who makes fun of you, you're out. Oh, I'm sorry. My mother told me not to point fingers. And that's why the immunity isn't enough to be saluted was, no, it's not that. But I reiterated my statement with the silent treatment because I did not speak to them for a whole 3 years consistently. I didn't give confusing messages. So I was still clear. My intent was my intent was nothing except for I didn't want to become friends with you. Then you made it into a situation and I reiterated, I'm not your friend. So the flexible is not flexible in the way of let me let you come in, unhealthy, no boundary person who doesn't even own the sense of self, needs a therapist, doesn't want one, and continues to think they know how to live life better than bilaterally, vertically, and overall integrated people are the 5D mystic, mindfully living and loving individuals, or 5D mindfully living and loving people, because we do know how to be equanimous, it's called. Kindness and firm kindness. Although, again, I'm pretty sure he won't call that firm kindness. And sometimes we don't really want to be firmly kind. We just represent whatever way comes forth. I told you no, and it's no. And so our energy and our awareness. Thank you, Sadhguru. It is directly connected. And when your energy is intense, which they are when you have an integrated brain, bilateral, vertical, and all your child parts are asleep, all of them, so when they come up, you don't project those behaviors. You don't do, let me share with you my trauma shit. No, it's not how it works. We bring each other the A game, functional inner child adults. I love to love, and my baby, he loves to dance, and he loves to love and learn and expand and not cast stones, and that's why his energy is intense too, hers and theirs, and your awareness naturally grows and sharpens. When people are mindfully living and loving, that's what happens. So they don't have self-loathing, gut wrench, torn apart. They don't ignore their inner world. They actively go and tend to it, and they get into their ventral energy. It may take 20 years, but the point is you don't ignore that which you're bringing forth. If we don't explore our reactions from our past and the impact they have on those around us, the messy disaster just happens, repeats. This is Patrick Tiahan. And as he points out, your past is living in you. It's not that you are living in the past. So again, the trauma charges come up in behaviors and in meanings for you and in sensations, images, affects. And people who don't take it seriously, they don't care about living a life of meaning and connection beyond the soul self. If they did, then every person out there at this point would be compassionate. I'd say, how dare you ask me where I come from? How dare you use that word? So any person who's contempt, not knowing how to get out of unbridled self-expression is an immature, emotionally, mentally, and physically speaking person. So they're not securely attached, and they're not yet a part of that, which is the 5D collective. They don't have to be, of course, which is why we welcome all. And so here's where it's easy to hang out with all types of people, 3D, 4D. They might not like us. We'll be okay with that. And so when you are able to surround yourself consistently with, one second, actually, I'm going to read a quote to you all. And I'm going to modify it to Maria's version for our 5D collective. There comes a time in your life when you basically identify those who are unhealthy, because they all have drama, and you don't leave them hanging dry. No, you just allow yourself to share those healthy ways that you have to live life. And if they don't like it, they'll be like, you know what, you're a bitch. I don't want to be in your life. I'm so sorry, but okay. We don't say that. It's more of, we are not compatible. So I've had friends where I've had a bazillion different ways to try and let them know I can't meet what you want. Whenever it's happened, they've been told it, and they've called me selfish, and I'm like, I got it. I'm understanding you're unhappy with me. This is who I am. This is what I bring, and so I get it. Social is a bonus for people who are securely attached, because that's the non-traumatized. I know how to self-regulate. I'm whole, and my sense of self is owned, and I bring me in a room in the absence of needing your nervous system to regulate in my happy ventral vagal, because that's what healthy, self-worth, empowered women, men, mystics, or not do. Okay, so in secure attachment is what you're first in any way, shape, or form. Is why the 43, they ain't going anywhere. But we surround ourselves with people who make us laugh. We laugh together. And even the ones who don't join us in 5D collective, we can laugh with. Because again, when you reiterate healthy boundaries, they will be heard. And if people don't like it, they will leave your circle. And you will not have done it in a rude way. No, you will have done it in a equanimous, functional, inner child adult way as you grow up. I mean, for sure, I'm way more mature now. and that's thanks to my entire oversoul. All of my masculines, all of my feminines, all of them. Okay, so I can thank every single one, because they got me to continue being Maria. And that kind, loving, I don't use kindness, because that's the part. They don't think of your firm kindness as kindness. If people don't like when you say no, they're always going to be a 3-year-old. You said no, you're mean. I'm not being mean, but okay, I get it, because I can feel like you're being mean when you tell me no. I'm still a kid inside too. I just don't actually cast a stone and then call you a bunch of names. Okay, so we laugh with everyone. We don't forget any bad and focus on good. We know that bad and good are really subjective from our own emotional plane. So I have bottom up. Oh, physical safety is my number one priority. So am I physically safe? Then it's self-agency. And then, no, I don't do that. So we have self-agency, bonding, and certainty as the three neural receptor motivators. And I lead with, again, physical safety. Am I safe? And then I care about self-agency. So those are where our emotion and bonding is important, but bonding is very straightforward. I want you. Do you want me? Yeah, cool. Yay, we're on board together. Great. So bad and good is really an interpretation. And when it's bad, it's still good because you expand from it, which is why even the disappointing masculines and feminines, they're all distorted, meaning not securely attached people. Well, the Zen Master of Laundry tells us why he's not enlightened. And so is it good, bad? I mean, we don't know. Really, it depends who you ask. For me, it's all good because no asteroid hit us and God will win. And Lucifer doesn't exist anymore because trauma is the explanation to every single one of those people who are speaking nightmare shit from their mouth and don't know how to be happy. Be happy now? Yes, and they actively don't want to be around any of us positive people. So when they say you're toxic positive, you say, yeah, I guess I'm hiding it all. I don't know what to tell you. So we do love the people who treat us right, and we don't actually have to pray for the ones who don't. I mean, of course people do. I know God, I talk to God. And he told me specifically already when I was a kid, I said, hey God, I said yes to Jesus, Holy Spirit. So I'm forgiving all people, right? And I'm also turning the other cheek, right? And I'm supposed to be humble, right? And integrity. Yeah, I'm humility. I'm all over it. But those teenagers and all these liars and all these unkind betrayers, they all showed me their cowardice. Well, what am I doing with all these people who suffer? There's no Lucifer. But I do know if he ever presents basically, I'm just scared like shit right now, but I don't see the cloak people actually talking what you taught me, God. So I'm going to leave them to, I don't know what's up with that. Today I do know. It's called all non-bilaterally integrated people are very disrespectful towards different heritage. They make up rumors like yoga bringing demons out of you, or witches, or Akashic record readers are bad, or Reiki is bad energy. Like the theologian that went around to do that paper, I'm like, really? You're going to go against Reiki? Wow, that's not nice. Don't you know the universal love energy is of all? That Holy Spirit is of all, that psychic gifts, spiritual gifts, neuroscientists who are looking into our clairs, like it's all known. You don't know that? Oh, wait, you don't do consilience, do you? I'm an empowered feminine, so everything, I just gather it. I'm like, ooh, wait, I organize this pile, this, and I can organize it really great. And no, your brain doesn't fall out of your ass when you're a securely attached, integrated brain person. That's why you don't lose yourself. It's very clear. My mind is completely clear. The only ones who don't follow, again, your left and right don't work together unless you say, hey, left, it's okay. Let the right online so all of this stuff can be right here because nobody's confusing shit. They're just connecting the dots differently than what I'm used to, and they're not linear. No, it's a big pile, and then you wait until the end. And really, if you don't have the capacity to shut up the left, that's why you're going to get frustrated, which you might as well just leave. And I'm saying, like, really, I've told people that we talk, like, look, this is how I do things. So if you can't, then either I won't talk and you talk, or, you make up your mind, but I'm bringing it all together. And you can ask me about what words you don't understand, but the concepts are all together for a reason. So we don't want to be mean to the people who, like that fancy lady, want to stay in their safe space of protection. It's not Lucifer. They have trauma. They don't want to heal it. So you leave them alone. Again, I mean, they all can go get healed, but life's too short for us to really say, hey, let me impose on you to go through. No, that's not how it works also. So if they don't notice that their suffering is just all over the place, I mean, really. Falling down is part of life. Getting back up is living. Life's too short to be anything but happy. Yes, with your ventral energy, you will be happy. You don't actually fall down unless you trip and fall. But these messages of, I fell down and got up and I got gold in my chest. Yes, that's called dragging a pain point around. We don't do that because, again, we trust the great mysteries of life with awe and wonder due to being securely attached solo selves. And that's because, infinite possibilities of tomorrow. I mean, who wants, it's a bit of magic? I know I do. And so when your mind stays clear, it's because you're grounded. in the embodiment of you, your body has secure attachment, and therefore you can handle all that comes up: sensations, images, affects, meanings, behaviors. Thank you, Peter Levine. And with your left, you chit chat about it, and then you bring it home to somebody else. And there's the meaning beyond the soul self. And that's when you talk to another healthy, self-worth, empowered human being, man, woman, or they. So it doesn't matter what age, what gender, obviously, if it's romantic, it's decided together what's going on and all that. But emotionally mature, mentally mature, physically mature, intelligent people, they have authenticity, transparency, even when they're afraid. They're not afraid to risk the relationship because functional child adults don't need terror real. We actively know, hey, let's have a face-off today. About what? Well, I don't know, important stuff. It's fun. It's only fun when you have the people who are just as mature as you are. Otherwise, it's still interesting. But, I can thank my facade friend, for now I know how not to waste my time and to spot those who are going to maintain insecurity, and I leave it alone because they won't notice. Like the fancy lady in suit says, it's dangerous to have no emotion. That's what they think of equanimity, which is also why they don't notice it as kindness, kind firmness. They don't notice that your intent is, hey, let's chit chat. No, for them, you're just saying no, or you're indifferent. In fact, neutrality and positivity by those who have these little protective stances is seen as it's a trigger for their fear of abandonment and rejection. Dr. Daniel Fox and a lot more inform me. So realistically, my body is safe always in a connection, and I have ventral energy. A person who doesn't notice that they're the ones who are doubting, and they're the ones who are like, I can't trust them. That's why it's really unfortunate when you see people who are not independent with love, because they continue to say, I was betrayed so many times, I was this, I was that. Well, you could get out of that and actually just notice that your heart wasn't broken, that sadness is about connection, and that your body is safe. But you can only do that again if you have a securely attached 1-year-old. So the mind stays clear, the heart loving, and the body safe in connection. When you understand, if you are a whole self, and wholeness means you don't long from here for somebody else, but that you appreciate somebody else and they're adding, and that when you're afraid and sad or any of the things, you talk, and it's easy, it's not hard. So life doesn't get harder, and relationships don't get harder as you grow up. I'm 44, almost 45. Love hasn't gotten harder. The things that are bad, they're not bad. And an empowered feminine who's a mystic will let you know, we already know what our masculines are meant to bring to us, even when we don't know. And we don't know all of it, but we don't care to, because again, we have fun with the infinite possibilities, and usually it keeps getting better and better because you are a solo self who's living a life of meaning and connection beyond yourself, because you have the capacity to unconsciously love who you are with flaws and integrity. And another person, doesn't matter if they're 5D and know how to have fun, whether you are like them or not. No, the minute you have a rude person, you leave it alone and you get your healthy boundaries spoken. And when they do, I'm not decent enough to be saluted, you leave it alone too. But you definitely reiterate, and I'm not going to become your friend, and there's that. So it's not hard when you have emotionally mature, physically and mentally people. And that's what we get to be here. So 5D mystic, again, mindful life. But if you're a person, you're a whole person who also does mindful living and loving. And so you enjoy the mindset, mindfulness, mindsight, because that clarity of mind comes with also very intriguing intellect and open-hearted. And since all the therapists are helping anybody who wants to get out of the insecure attachment, we're going to have more people join us. That's where, so for me, God has meant and continues to mean the world. But what I've noticed is people don't really know how to make of their body security, whether they have God or not, unless they take seriously their energetic output. Your energy and your awareness are directly connected. And so self-awareness, accountability, regulation, reflection. Are you getting with thoughts and emotions easy or not? Zen master has laundry. No. The answer is no. He doesn't know how to help himself to get a whole heart. And it's your choice. That's why you choose restorative embodiment, self-awareness, accountability, regulation, or not. And that's why we have the other team, quote unquote. Humans evolve. Consciousness too. We might always have twos, because that actively gives you an opportunity of free will. So determined says you don't have it. I say you do. And since sciences and spirituality show that having in the body is with healed trauma, there you go. So people who don't take seriously uncharging their child parts, getting an integrated brain, figuring out their mental health. There's also their soul age groups though, so they live out their other stuff like that. But if your energies are intense, welcome aboard. Your awareness naturally grows and sharpens, and so we get to be a whole lot of fun. I love to love, and my baby, he loves to laugh, and he loves to learn and expand and not cast stones. And so with that being said, we'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. It'll help the channel grow, and you can email for inquiries about one-to-one mentorship or the masterclass in the future or the workshops in the future. And fan base and Spotify, you can subscribe, paid subscription based model content for those who are new, and that's for video practical exercises, but also for Ask Maria opinionated calmness episodes, and then we'll see what tiers come up as well on YouTube. So in the meantime, again, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.